This video contains major spoilers for Persona 5 Royal. The 8th card in the tarot deck. Number 7, the Chariot. It represents determination, willpower, and victory. In the Persona series, the Chariot is usually associated with an athletic individual who is simultaneously brash but well-intended. They must endeavor through difficult struggles in order to push forward. And that is no different for Persona 5. The Chariot Arcana is that of Ryuji Sakamoto. I'm Ouroboros. Let's talk. If you missed my video on the Fool's Journey, I'd recommend that you watch it before jumping into this series. It goes over the Fool's Journey and gives a brief rundown of each of the major arcana, so go check it out. Anyway, like I said earlier, the Chariot Arcana reflects a very driven and athletic individual. It has grown to be a bronze over brains type of character, but that doesn't mean that they aren't good-natured. In tarot cards, the Chariot is associated with many things, but the most prominent of which is that of willpower. It is the culmination of an unbridled sense of focus, commitment, and sheer will. The Chariot is the victorious result of said conquest. It is the victory lap. It is at this point that the Fool has met many people, learned about spirituality, unity, traditions, beliefs, and so much more. The Fool has grown a lot, even by the time we're only at the 8th card, and this reflects his personal triumphs, although they will be short-lived. The Chariot tarot card is shown as, well, a person riding a chariot. It's usually a warrior, implying that he is returning from a battle or conquest. Interestingly, there are no reins on the chariot. This could mean that he is controlling it through sheer willpower. This is furthered when you look at the two sphinxes pulling the chariot. They are opposite colors and facing different directions, but the man is able to control them himself. Unlike some other tarot cards, the chariot's meaning is pretty cut and dry: overcoming challenges to achieve your goals. Ryuji's story mainly focuses on his challenges within the Kamoshida arc and the fallout between him and the rest of the track team. Far before we made our way to Shujin, Ryuji had already been struggling with his powerlessness. His clash with Kamoshida and eventual injury is textbook reversed Chariot. Powerlessness, aggression, and near insurmountable obstacles, these are all things that Ryuji felt prior to meeting Joker. It's not unlikely to say that he would have been arrested too if Joker hadn't entered into his life. The sad thing is that Ryuji didn't used to be like this. Kawakami makes a comment early on that he didn't have that juvenile defiance when he was running. Unfortunately, like the rest of the P5 cast, an adult got in their way. Ryuji's aggression is most likely a result from not only his hatred of Kamoshida, but his unresolved feelings about his abusive father. He often blames himself for the burdens he places on his mom, and may even be angry with himself. It is possible that he sees a bit of his father in him when he loses his cool. That aggression comes directly from the reversed meaning of the Chariot. He also exhibits a lack of control over his own life during the beginning of the game. Obviously, he feels trapped by what he's done, but him lashing out at Kamoshida during their confrontation in the PE faculty office furthers his lack of control, because the group only has a few weeks until they're expelled. All of this is, of course, through no fault of your own, but Kamoshida's rampant control over Shujin leaves Ryuji with no control or direction in his life. He's at the mercy of not only his anger, but Kamoshida's rule. While I don't think this would have mattered, Ryuji taking a swing at Kamoshida is the perfect encapsulation of his early demeanor. Brash, unrefined, and beholden to his emotions. While he doesn't completely change over the course of the story, he still clashes with Morgana, especially during the Okuma arc. He is, in my opinion, also one of the best confidants in the game. It really comes down to his personal growth during it. His previous identity was so tied to running. That's who he was, and when he had that aspect of himself stripped away, there was nothing but a hollow shell left. The early parts of his confidant feel like he was trying to recapture that magic, but with you instead. He makes so much effort to re-establish himself within the team and prevent them from falling into the hands of another abusive coach. It's like he's trying to live in the past. He can't move on from the past, and he's rushing to get back into things that he once did. He's not taking a moment to step back and reflect on what he might want. It's his impulsiveness and hastiness that causes him to clash with the old team. It's not until later on in the Confidant that we truly see some personal growth. He forgives Nakaoka for telling Kamoshida about his family problems, and he even lets some of his old teammates punch him. Although that one is played as a bit of a joke, I think it's telling that Ryuji never fought back. He took it like a man and moved on. It's that forward progress that carries him into the final rank. The two of you sit down for a bowl of ramen, and he not only thanks you for everything that you've done, but realizes that running at Shujin isn't his home anymore. He realizes that it's with you and the rest of the Phantom Thieves. There's so much personal growth in his Confidant. He's finally found his new home and family. And then the third semester rolls around. He never had the leg injury, so now he's back to running, and seems so happy with his old teammates. He's also likely to get a scholarship, which would make things way easier for his mom. Exactly what he wished for. Despite that, he throws it all away to go help defeat Maruki, and then decides to move away. Once you've left Maruki's reality, he tells the group that he's going to move closer to a rehab facility so he can pursue the dreams that Maruki gave him, but this time of his own free will, of his own determination. He doesn't want to be given a reality, he wants to take it himself, which seems so fitting for the former delinquent. Ryuji had to go through a lot prior to the game starting. Abusive father, getting assaulted by a teacher, becoming a social outcast. Not exactly an easy life for a high school boy. However, it's these experiences that shaped him. They shaped him into a hot-headed mess of anger, a boy with no sense of direction or control, a life full of obstacles. But by embracing his Chariot roots, he finds success, control, discipline, and focus. It's that growth that carries him from your typical meathead in the early game to the, well, still a bit of a meathead, but a much more introspective one by the time the game ends.
Come on, cat, we gotta go!
Like I said, he's one of my personal favorites. I tend to enjoy the Chariots throughout the Persona series, but his unflinching determination to stand up for the little guy is the perfect fit for the Phantom Thieves. Ryuji's ability to forge his own path in a world full of unfair circumstances is the culmination of his journey as the Chariot of Persona 5. Thanks for watching.